Hey everybody, this is Brett, and tonight I feel really irritable, and so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my opinion on some of the things that I told you that I wasn't really willing to tell you my opinion about, because I just need to vent, in all honesty. I just want to vent. And, when I first saw Derek Chauvin kneeling on George Floyd's neck and choking him to death, I was very disturbed. I cried. I seriously cried. It bothered me so much. And I made a video, and you could go back and watch it right around the time, whatever date it was when that happened. I made a video and I was seriously disturbed. Then I found out the true nature of George Floyd, and I was not bothered anymore in any way, shape, or form. I found out that George Floyd had been to prison like 6 times, and something about pointing a gun at some pregnant woman's belly, and I no longer cared 1 ounce, nothing, zero, about George Floyd dying that day. And those of you that don't know, my opinion on multiple time felons like that, I think they should all just be put to death. I don't think that we have the resources, the money. I think it's a waste. I think it's an absolute waste of time. If somebody doesn't have the gumption to change and they just keep living the life of a criminal, I say dump them in the ocean, whatever, throw them out of airplanes. I don't care. Okay? So I'm only in support of people that are worth something. I really care about people that make an effort, and I really try to help people to help themselves, to have a good life. But the ones that don't, I don't care about. And the reason that I don't care about them is because it's not worth the time, it's not worth the effort, it's not worth the emotions, it's not worth the money, it's not worth anything. Because we have 7.5 billion people on this planet, and they are suffocating it. They're suffocating their own environment, their own air, their own water, their own food. They're destroying the animals, everything. Okay, so now I'll tell you my opinion on Derek Chauvin. I think that the police, because they have such a heavy weight on their shoulders to deal with, I think that they can lose it. I think that a lot of the police that get into the police force have aggression problems. I know that they do. Okay, I remember back in high school when you had aggressive kids that were getting into fights. A lot of those aggressive kids decided to become police officers so that they can cut loose their aggression. Okay, so you have the criminals on one side, and then you have some of the cops, not all of them, only a small percentage of the cops that are doing things like this. Okay, so all of this is meant to be. It's all perfect. And even my telling you my opinion is perfect. Okay, so I'm a little part of God. I'm a little part of God that's entitled to his own opinion. And these are what they are. And I'm glad that Derek Chauvin is going to jail, because that forces a lot of stuff to come to the surface with all the other police and all of the government to change policies, etc. But at the same time, if you do that too much, if you put too much of the blame on the police, then what's going to happen is the criminals are going to step up their activity. Look at what happened with Joe Biden. Okay, so Joe Biden is a nice guy. You can hear it in his voice. You can see it in his eyes. He's a bleeding-hearted liberal Democrat. And that's what you get at the border when you get somebody, they see that. Okay, so down in Nicaragua or down in Guatemala, they see that, oh, Joe Biden, he'll let us come in, he'll let us go over the border. So now what do you get? You get all of these people dropping their kids off at the border. Here you go, little Julio, go across the border and they won't be able to refuse you because Joe Biden is your president now. And what happens? Well, Joe has to backstep and get real. The government in China is not so far away from my idea, the communist, that's right, the communist government in China and the way they deal with criminals is not so far away from my mindset. And a lot of you see this because a lot of the ways that I think are logical and not so bleeding hearted. Okay, so some people just are never going to get their acts together. What are we going to do about that? Are we just going to keep paying for more counseling, paying for more years and everything in jail? No. Okay, so if it were up to me, they'd all be working. All the prisoners would be working. And some of you, there are people out there that are just like, oh my God, Brett, he is just a Nazi. Like Brett is a Nazi. This guy is like Adolf Hitler. Well, you can say that if you want to, but that's just like the news. It's called an exaggeration. Okay, that's what the news likes to do for ratings. I'm not here to exaggerate anything. I'm just telling you the way I really think and what my real policies would be if I were like in charge of the world. And and you know, like it's all fine for the minorities, the color people of color to say that to put all the blame on the police. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so how many people die from the police every year? And how many people die from their own people killing them and robbing them and everything else? Go tonight, get in your car and drive to South Chicago or East LA and get out of the car and we'll see how many minutes you last. It won't be very long. It won't be very long, especially if there's no police around, and there probably won't be because the police are afraid to even go into those areas. That's the truth. So anyways, I just wanted to vent for a few minutes and I could give you my opinions, my very truthful and logical opinions on a whole lot of things. And I might not even leave this video up for very long because there are so many people that wouldn't like to, they don't want to hear my opinions about these things. How can you put, what about all of those people that died from COVID? I'm living, glad you're not youngster, and I'm 55. I'm suffering from these things too, and I'm glad I don't have 70 years ahead. Yeah, so anyways, if there's something that anyone else wants to talk about, I'm game. Give it to me, baby. I'm politically incorrect. See, How many votes would you get? How many people would vote for me for president? Hardly any. Hardly any. Only a small percentage of people are willing to sit and listen to me tell my opinions about things. As soon as I just think about one thing, here's one aspect. If I start talking about diet and telling people that we're moving towards and we need to start working towards a plant-based diet, you know how many people are going to fight back against that? Even even seashells would fight back against that. Almost probably 95% of the population of this country would immediately say, no, I'll never vote for him. Now you add a whole bunch more things into that mix, like my thoughts about religion. Now you're going to cut out about another 90% of the 5% that's left over. You're going to cut out about 90% of the 5%. What else? Yeah. Regardless of whether you believe that George Floyd pointed a gun at a pregnant woman's belly again, he's been to jail 5 or 6 prison 5 or 6 times. We don't know how many times he's been to jail. He was getting arrested and he was on some drugs again. And he was resisting arrest and all of that. And everyone's like, well, but he still shouldn't have pinched his neck off and suffocated him. Well, that's true. I'm just saying, if you go back and watch this video, I said that I was upset. I was emotionally upset when I first saw that happen. But then, when I heard about how George Floyd was a lifetime criminal, I didn't give a flying anymore. I could care less. And we see all these people. I'm telling you, I know exactly what's going on in the back of the minds of his family. They're all like maybe somewhat sad that their sibling, brother, son, whatever, got killed by this guy, even though he was a lifetime criminal. But they're thinking cha-ching, okay? Because the city of Minneapolis is going to have to fork over millions, the people, okay? So check this out. Because of a criminal and an overly aggressive cop, the city of Minneapolis is now going to have to fork over tens of millions of dollars to the family of a criminal. That's the truth. And they're like thinking to themselves, thank you, George. Thank you so much. We're going to have millions of dollars. Those people are never going to have to work another day. I'll be working my ass off sewing pillows in the next room. But the family of George Floyd will be sitting on a beach in Costa Rica. They'll be going on cruise ships and they'll be eating anything they want. They're going to buy them a new house. Oh my God. The family of George Floyd is good to go. The whole bunch of them, all of them. They're going on vacations and they're going to buy this and new cars and all kinds of stuff. They're good to go. The family of George Floyd is, oh, and the lawyer, the bald guy, he's good. He's smiling all the way to the bank. And they probably loved George somewhat, but he was a freaking criminal. He was a criminal. He turned out to be a martyr, He's an example. He turns out to be an example for the cops to know, no, you can't do that. You know, can't be overly aggressive to people unless you really want to go to jail for the rest of your life. But now think about this. Here's another thing. Okay, so we've all been for the last year or so, more than a year, we've all been prisoners in a room where all we could do is sit and meditate. We can do self-massage and yoga as much as we want. We can connect with God as much as we want. Derek Chauvin gets to do that now for the rest of his life. He gets to go outside and exercise for an hour or so every day. And he gets to read books and meditate and enjoy just sitting, and he gets to learn how to be connected with God. And that's what we've all been doing. And so you know what it's like to be a prisoner of the world, of a world afraid of COVID. That's what we all are, prisoners of a world that's afraid to go out of COVID. Yesterday, I was sitting in the post office because I had to send a package. And that package was going to a country called Bahrain, somewhere in the Middle East. One of my viewers wanted a couple of pillows sent to Bahrain. And so I tried to run the label and it wouldn't run. And so I had to actually go to the post office and create a label by hand, writing it all out. And I wanted to make sure that it was going to get full coverage, including the postage, for full insurance, including the postage. And I had to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And this guy came in with his mask on. And most people in this small town anyway, not Asheville, but most people here, they don't treat you any differently if you're not wearing a mask. But this guy, I was sitting on the counter because I had to wait for like 45 minutes and my feet were getting tired. And so I was sitting on the counter and this guy came in and he gave me a look like, what are you doing? How dare you come in here without a mask and sit on the post office counter? And I looked at him back like, fuck you. And I'm telling you, that's how we're going to get. That's how we're going to get. Okay. So the longer this goes on, the more people are going to say, okay. And we're going to be like, and we won't care how many more times it surges, how many more people catch it, how many more people die. Eventually, we're all going to say, those of us that refuse to play the game anymore, we're all going to say, we're not playing your game anymore. And then the more, like for the next month or two, you're going to get the prodding. You're going to get the prodding by the president, the prodding by the news, the prodding by whoever, you know. Various, what was it? Something refusing, colleges in California refusing to allow students to come back to school without vaccinations. That was on the news tonight. Okay, so a lot of people are just going to say, we're not going to do it. We're not good, then fine, we'll go elsewhere. And there'll be more colleges that'll say, well, we're open to people that don't have vaccines. And the ones that aren't allowing it, those people will lose money. They're going to lose funding. But I'm telling you, we're not going to back down. No, we won't back down. Because okay, so here's the deal with me personally. If somebody walked in here with a briefcase with $1,000 bills in it, and it was $1 billion, and they said, I'll give you this briefcase with $1 billion in it if you'll get one of the vaccines, any one of them. You can take your choice. I would tell them to get the hell out of here. And I would say, you. Okay? They could put, there's no amount of money. There's zero amount of money. $1 trillion. They could fill this apartment full of trillion, give it to me, and I won't get the vaccine. And so, I mean, I'm not sure exactly. They must not be talking to me. They're not talking to me when they're trying to coerce me into getting it, whatever, by whatever means. It doesn't matter because it's not going to happen. I'll die first, okay? And so let's see, what else do you want me to tell you, really tell you about? I don't know. Rosalind, it's bizarre to me that people are so willing to take the warp speed injection. So let's see, I made a pillow today, and one of my very good viewers and customers, Appleton. Yes, I have a viewer named Appleton. He is a very cool dude. He's bought a bunch of my products, and he bought some more today. I gave him a coupon for, see, people that have bought my products. If you're somebody that's bought my products before and you want to buy some more and you need a coupon, I'll just give you one. I'll give you one. I'm totally loyal to people that are loyal to me. If you've been comments on my videos for a long time and I know who you are golden to me. Okay? If you're somebody that's never made any comments or never bought any of my products, never made any good comments, I mean, the deal with people for me is most of them are a dime a dozen. They're not worth 2 freaking cents to me. When I see all the abuse of animals that I love by worthless humans, it just irks me more. Okay, when I see the things that trophy hunters do to animals and all the obscurity things, wastefulness of this world, if you're not somebody that I really care about because you've done something for me, you've made comments to me, you've been nice to me, I can see that you're making an effort. There are a bunch of things that I can respect in people. And if you've built some degree of respect through some means for me, then, you know, to whatever, the more of a deep degree that is, the more I'm on your side, the more I'm with you. I've got your back. But most people, I'm really not willing to give them the time of day because they haven't. Because most people are just mainstream blah. And for me, I'm not really willing to give most people the benefit of the doubt that they are worth anything because I don't think that most people are. And I'm not talking like specifically about, for the most part, any races, colors, whatever. I'm just talking people in general. So I've made like over 2,100 videos. And after you've made 2,100 videos, you get to have weeded through a whole hell of a lot of people. Okay, some of those people made a comment. Some of those people listened to me for 5 minutes and said, "Oh, I don't like this guy," and they immediately left and went on elsewhere. A lot of people have watched me and then decided that they don't like me because I don't like this. I have a different opinion on what than they do about something and whatever. Those of you that are left over, you are a very, very, very small minority. I'll tell you that for sure. Even if we don't see eye to eye on everything, if you're still with me and you agree with me about 80% of the things that I say, you are a very small minority. And for me, that's how I kind of live my life. I just realize, I just live in this world where I realize that only 1 out of 10,000 people are going to really gravitate towards my mentality. And right now I have about 800 people. I have about 800 people in my holistic homesteading group on Facebook. And there are maybe a half a dozen of them. There are a half a dozen people that I could actually possibly commune with. Possibly. So that's just how it is. And so I'm in my own little prison. I'm in my little prison. Derek Chauvin is in his little prison. Most people also, okay, so here's another thing in regards to George Floyd and other people that have passed on from this from the physicality of this world. Most people, they think that death is such a bad thing. They think that, oh, they're dead. They don't really have faith in something beyond this world. They say that they do, but they don't really think it. Okay, so this world is a lot of pain. When you get pain in your feet, what do I tell you to do? Massage them, and that causes more pain. But then you feel better, but guess what? You just moved a bunch of toxins out of your feet, and then your organs have to deal with that tomorrow. And so that's more pain. So it's a never-ending thing until your body dies. Until your body dies, you have to deal with continual pain. And that's why, like, I don't understand the mentality of people being so strained over the death of someone. I think we are just really weak. I think people are really spiritually weak because they say they believe in the afterlife, but they don't really. Because if you did, then you wouldn't worry about death, would you? And so, like, they're all crying about somebody like George Floyd, he died. George Floyd has gone to the next world, and hopefully somebody's going to teach him, hey, you shouldn't be a criminal. If you get another life, you shouldn't be a criminal, causing all kinds of grief for people. Okay, so like I think that the people, like for me, I imagine a beautiful world. I try to create a beautiful world for myself. Okay, so you have to do something, you have to do things that are good for yourself. If you want to be happy, you have to make the effort to do things that are good for yourself. And for me, I try to stay away from all the heads. So I knew that if I moved to the country, I was going to be around sometimes, a lot of the time, rednecks. Do I want to be around rednecks? Some of them are okay, but I'm telling you without any doubt that a whole lot of them really suck to live next to. I experienced it both out in Brevard and here. The difficulty of living next to rednecks. And life is hard, okay? So life is very difficult. No matter what you do, life is difficult. So think about all of the things that people do, stupid things that people do to make their lives even more difficult. It is amazing. It is seriously amazing. And you have to really be careful about everything that you do, because you can't just go out and have fun without the possibility of somebody else out there really messing up your life. And so I don't know. I oftentimes call me a Cancer homebody, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm staying right here in my shell. And I can do my Mercury, Leo and Mercury thing with you guys here on the phone. Leo is like the lion, wants to be in the spotlight and have fun and all of that. And Mercury is communication. So here I am in the spotlight communicating to you my thoughts and feelings. And but for the most part, I'm safe. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because, anything can happen. But for the most part, I'm safe in a world of nutcases. Freaking nutcases. So, and somebody asked me the other day about Costa Rica, and I was like, no. I asked people that live in Costa Rica about the crime, and the responses that I got were amazing. I got hundreds and hundreds of people talking about all of the that had happened to them in Costa Rica, robs, murders, mostly theft in Costa Rica, but armed robbery as well. And she said, well, where would you go? And I said, well, maybe New Zealand. It's beautiful there. It's somewhat civilized. It's not a Catholic based. Like if you go to South America, Central America, what do you get? Catholic based, the Catholic based religion mentality, the Hispanic yada yada Catholic mentality. Okay, so that all of that is a reflection upon the progression of a culture, of various cultures. Okay, so there are several countries in the world that have more civilized people than here in the United States. Off the top of my head, Denmark, where my ancestors are from, Holland, also some of my ancestors. I don't know that I would say that Great Britain is a really great place that I would really want to go to for different reasons. But like possibly, but the thing with the Scandinavian countries, Finland, Sweden, and Norway, is that it's so dark and it's so freaking cold. Okay. And granted, maybe on the southern tips of them, it's not so bad, but still, I like it warm. There's only one place on this planet that I'd probably prefer to live than here: New Zealand. Warm, beautiful, um, civilized, organic. I don't think they have nuclear there. I think that they're very environmentally friendly. Yes, I'm doing one right now, Shannon. Shanice. Shanice. Shanice, give me a question. I'll answer. Give it to me. I'm ready. Yeah, cool digestion, Shanice. Yeah, well, I'd have to live out in the country. That's where I would live no matter where I was. I would have to live out in the country in New Zealand. And when you live out in the country, lockdowns are not a big thing no matter where you are because there's not very many people. How did you get so good at massaging? You're freaking awesome. Um, I went to massage school. I did massage on people for 10 years. I lost my license because I made a video that the board didn't like. No, it wasn't a porn video. And then, as a massage therapist, I had to learn how to do self-massage on myself because I was in so much pain from working on other people. And from working on myself and working on other people, I got good. And also, I had a natural gift. There are people out there that it's a weird thing for me to even, I can't even hardly understand it. It's hard for me to understand that people can't do massage very good. And it's just, I guess it's just a natural gift for me to be able to do it good. But I don't see why everyone can't just get good at doing massage. I think that a whole lot of people, if they practice, they can. Oh, you should go into Rolfing. Not many Rolfers out there. Now, I have no desire to, like, I know how to tweak people better than most Rolfers. The Rolfing, there's something to it. But see, if the Rolfers knew how to do Ashiatsu, it's a lot more powerful. When you put bolsters under a person's body and then you step on them, that structurally integrates them a lot better than any upper body muscles. When you step on people, you can really tweak people, but you have to use bolsters to get the right leverage. And it's not really that difficult. They make it a rocket scientist and they charge like out the yin yang for to go to that school in Boulder. And it's like it's another big money making venture. Massage school is a big money thing, especially the Rolfing school. The Rolfing school is like the epitome of massage schools for making money and for teaching people stuff that it's really a racket. You have 10 sessions. Like when you go to a Rolfer, they recommend that you do 10 sessions, right? And they'll charge like $100 a session or something. So they're going to do their 10 sessions and make $1,000. And it's like specialty massage to restructurally integrate your body. But it's really kind of a gimmick because, first of all, they don't know how to, like I said, they don't know how to really do it very well because they're not using their full weight of their body, which means you use your feet. When you can use these and stand on people, it's so much more leverage, and that's what's required to get people because, like, people are all tweaked out. They're all tweaked over. They're all like this. People don't know how to do stretching and they don't make the effort to do stretching. And they don't know how to do self-massage and they don't make the effort to do self-massage. So what happens to them after 30 years, 20 years? They get to be 50, my age, 50 years old, and what do they look like? They're all slumped over from their activities. They're all slumped over. You know what people need? If people have my wooden spine rollers and they use them every day like I do, they wouldn't get all slumped over like that. And they would see when you get all slumped over, that's when nerves get pinched and you get all in pain. People don't even need Rolfers. Like, okay, so If I had a girlfriend right now and she, first of all, I wouldn't have one unless she was willing to do trades with me. If she wasn't willing to do massage trades and an assisted stretching with me, then I would just kick her to the curb. I wouldn't have a girlfriend at all that wasn't willing to do all that with me. I'd be like, well, screw this. I'm not going to work on you unless you're going to work on me. I'm all about equal rights, baby, in all regards. Equal rights and freedom in regards to relationships. She can go be with as many guys as she wants to, as long as they're all clean, and I get the same. That's my thinking. But as far as like body work is concerned, it's really, really a lot better. You can have a lot better health if you have somebody to trade with. And I've known that for a long time. But see, it's so hard for me to find anyone that has the same thinking that I do, the same logical thinking, because whatever reason, that it's just, and I've been doing so much healing for myself that it's like, forget it up to this point. Hopefully that will change in the future. But like, you can have a lot better health if you have a partner or a friend that's willing to do assisted stretching and ashiatsu on you. I mean, assisted stretching is like amazing. Imagine this, okay? So you're in child's pose and somebody sits on your back. You know what child's pose means, right? Or what it is, right? Child's pose is when you're going like this. Child's pose is when you're like in this pose, like that. Now imagine that somebody just squats on your back and sits and releases the weight of their body on your back. It's amazing. It's so freaking powerful. And they don't even have to do anything but sit. It's fucking amazing. I don't know that, like, people do yoga every single day. Thousands and thousands of people, not so much with COVID, but there are still some yoga classes out there. And because people are so sexually inhibited, they're not doing any of these kinds of things, like sitting on someone when they're in child's pose. Like, how can you possibly do that? That's so nasty. That's like you're putting your sexual parts on someone's back. That's what they're thinking, or that's what at least they're thinking subconsciously. That they're it's like offensive or something like that. They have absolutely no idea how amazing it feels to get stretched in that position just from someone sitting on your back. It's fucking awesome. It's amazing. Now think about this, okay? The two of you are both completely naked, right? You've seen me do ashiatsu. Now, you get into child's pose and your girlfriend puts oil all over your back. Then she sits facing down on your back and slides her butt bones all the way down your back to your sacrum. Slow. Imagine that. Imagine how amazingly awesome that would be to have someone slide their butt all the way down your back with oil. Freaking amazing. She could crack the crap out of your back and massage your back like nobody's business. And how much effort would it take? Think about this. How much effort would it take for someone to do that? It wouldn't take any effort at all other than putting some oil on your back, because all she's doing is using the weight of her body to massage your back. And that's it. It would be amazing. You think the ashi with the feet would be good? We're talking about a butt massage on your back using your sit bones. On the bottom of your butt, you got sit bones, your pelvic bones, your pelvic bones. And if the girl isn't too fat, then those bones will stick out, and they're the perfect width to slide all the way down the major musculature on either side of your spine. Perfect. And that's just one example, okay? That's just one little example of assisted stretching that can be done, like either clothed or nude. And people have no idea. People have zero. Like, imagine people like my grandparents that lived together for 50 some odd years, right? And they were in pain. It blows my mind. We're talking about, like, right now, there are couples out there that the weight of their bodies is sucking them down, like all of us. The weight of my arms right now is sucking my shoulders down all the time. And the weight of my body is just sitting here on the ground, not benefiting anyone at all. But see, the weight of your body alone can do amazing things to uncork other people's bodies. But it's not doing anything right now because you don't know about it and you're not making the effort to do it. There might be somebody in the room where you're at right now. There's 22 people watching. And there might be somebody in the room with you right now that it has a sore shoulder or a sore back or a sore arm, and they could use the weight of your body on them. But are they getting it? No, they're not getting the weight of your body on them at all, because you're not making the effort, because you don't even know to make the effort. Like, it blows my mind to think in my mind about what other people could do to uncork other people, but they don't for whatever reason. Most of the reason is because they don't know, but also because even if they did know, they wouldn't do it because they're afraid of what the other person would think or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. And people will go and make appointments with their doctors to get a cortisone shot for things that all they need is is their spouse to step on them, and that's it, or to sit on them, and that's it. And it blows me away. So here I am, whatever. Haguar. Yeah. But like, I'm not talking about being fat. Like, I'm not fat. But the 160 pounds that I weigh, if you're a woman and you weigh 120 pounds, that 120 pounds is amazing. That 120 pounds can do amazing, amazing things. Watch do Ashiatsu on YouTube videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Your husband would freaking love you to step on him, unless you weigh like 300 pounds. But even if you're overweight, you can just do 1 foot massage strokes on people and really get some amazing results. Even clothed, even fully clothed, if a person lays on the floor and you hold a chair for stability and just joggle their butt with your heel or the balls of your feet, And they'll be like, oh, that feels really good. It's not rocket science. People think they have to go to massage school to learn stuff. No, what you mostly need is to watch videos. This is how I lost my license, telling people to learn how to do massage. But the thing is that I told them that they could make extra money doing massage. And the board was like, that goes against the code of ethics. You're not supposed to recommend something that's against the law, and nobody's allowed to make any money unless they're licensed massage therapists. And I was just like, yeah, fuck it, I don't want to be a massage therapist anymore anyway. I'm tired of you guys. But yeah, all you really have to do is start practicing. And start practicing eating better. Practice, 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 practice. It makes perfect. It's absolutely true. I'm telling you, Michelle, if you two get totally, totally naked and you put him in child's pose and then you put oil all over his back and then sit on his back and slide down it, it's good. The thing is that most people are so stiff, though, that they can't even do a child's pose. But like for me, man, that would be so good. Mostly, the women that are attracted to me can't get a guy because they're too overweight. That's that's kind of the thing. And I'm really, I mean, it's okay to have them as friends, you know. I have a lot of friends that are like that, and that's cool. But in all honesty, you know what I want. You know what I want. I want somebody that's got a nice bod, attractive, holistic, natural, not much makeup. I don't need tattoos and I don't need piercings and all of that, blah, blah, blah. I just need a beautiful 125-pound natural girl. And she could be older, she could be younger, whatever. But she needs to be like fairly moderate in her thinking and not some nutcase. That's what I want. So, anyways, thanks for joining me, everybody. And that's a long subject. Thanks for joining me. Be well.